Anti-Afro Svengalis. Now this video is for Pillsbury, but it also is for Photon, because Photon, you're playing, what is that term they used to use in the 70s? The nut roll? You're playing like you don't know what's going on, but you know what's going on. You know exactly what's going on. So this is a piggyback for Photon. The main message is for Pillsbury. Now, Photon, you keep making statements and asking questions about things you know good and darn well you have the answers to. You keep asking it over and over. I posted it in your chat. I've posted in your chat before, and you blow right over it. It's your live stream. You can blow over it if you want to, but here it is in writing, so you don't ever have to ask me again. This is the procedure. This is the procedure for any circumstance when a crime has been committed. With respect to Pillsbury, you were given a pass. You were making threats to post stolen Social Security information. And now you got up there in front of these other people acting like you didn't know what was going on. You have multiple live streams where the information was dropped on your page. And there was screen fest going on. People's information was dropped, and that's when we initiated filing the reports. You were not making threats at the time. It was not until later on you made the threats. Back in December, you made threats to post you yourself stolen information. And that's when I decided to step up the effort to really identify you so I could file reports. Now, I very easily could have added on to my retainer fee that I have put down after this Social Security situation happened. But why should I do that? If I can find out who you are, why would I add another $6,000 or $8,000? It's very easy to identify who you were once I decided to focus on doing it. It didn't happen in that call, and a police officer didn't tell me who you were. But that doesn't even make any sense that a police officer would tell me. I asked him. He wasn't going to tell me. I knew he wasn't going to tell me. I'm letting you know right now, your pass has been rescinded. We did not call your job because you stopped threatening us. You are now using this, I'm going to drop this information. You are no longer going to use that as a running threat. You continue to do this. You continue to go down this road. I am going to make sure the formalized process is put in place to make the contacts with all of these agencies, including your employer. This is not funny. It is not a joke. Think about it, people. When you hear Pillsbury talking about his family, if they put my family, and they do this to my family, and you have these other fools talking about if they show up in my house and my family, and what have they been doing to other people's families? They've been attacking other people's families. Now, you are going to appease people on YouTube to the detriment of your well-being. And here's the part that's so bizarre, and it's going to be addressed in the other video. These are individuals who had absolutely no fight, no disagreement, no conflict, and absolutely didn't start anything with Pillsbury. Pillsbury, you are the one who initiated this. You did this. And you think that we're going to sit back and allow you to threaten us with stolen information? And you can shout out Mona all you want. Mona's name goes on every single one of these reports. It's re-emphasized over and over how this information was obtained. It's of no consequence. Whoever wants to say that IAAS did it, you can say that. You can say that. There's no validity to any of your claims. You don't scare me with false claims and false allegations. This is not a false allegation. Mona sent you the information. Mona was on a rampage. Mona did what she did. It had nothing to do with me. And if it did, I would not have passed a federal background investigation. They know everything that went on. They have access to everything. Thank you, The Al Show, for your gesture saying don't let people know. I did not tell them what type of clearance I had. I just said that process cleared. I didn't give any detail, and that's okay. There's nothing anybody can do. I have to do it. I have to ruin my life. You can't ruin how are you going to ruin my life? I have to do it myself. And when I say ruin my life, get on YouTube and act the fool. But what do we have now? Carrionitis, live streams being taken down. It's of no consequence. No communication that I have sent anyone ever would get me even in any remote legal situation. None whatsoever. But I do encourage you, if you feel that you have a case, please, by all means, get your Catherine Brown on. Contact law enforcement. I'm going to deal with the law. I am not going to get up in any situation and place myself at any sort of risk by fighting and arguing or stooping down to your level and violating the law. You don't decide if the law is violated. You need to turn that over to the authorities. They will decide. And that's the instruction that we have. And report every new incident. Do not fight with these people on the internet. You can get yourself caught up in a situation where you are going to be in a legal quandary. Again, it bothers me none that people say, oh, AAS did this. Well, prove it. File your court case. Get your Catherine Brown on. She filed a federal lawsuit. A federal lawsuit. Yes, she made all these claims. And guess what they found? Not a single transaction, any financial transaction with anybody over there with TCTV and Don. This is in 2021. They didn't find anything. So she's up here making up lies. I could have slammed her to the gills. That entire lawsuit was filled with lies. She perjured herself. Didn't even tell the judge that she had the relationship with all those people. And I was going to go for the gusto until the attorney said, well, let's see if she makes any other moves. If she makes any more moves, then we'll go for the sanction. She hasn't made any more moves. So she files any other lawsuit, I'm going to drive it home. She's a liar. And we know Dumpsy fueled that lawsuit. You think Dumpsy wanted TCTV sued? Catherine Brown was already suing him, and he wanted us to go along for the ride. Guess what? Go for it. We paid for the attorney, and the case against us was dismissed. I have absolutely not a shred of shame about that phony, fake, and ass lawsuit. I posted it, I sent it everywhere to everybody. Hey, everybody, look at this. Nobody that knows me would ever believe in a million years if you put $1 million on the table and asked them to pretend that I did some shit like that, they will never believe you. And guess what? If we got with your peoples and asked them if you would do the shit that you're doing right now on the internet, we wouldn't have an opportunity to finish the question to offer the $1 million that would tell us, hell yeah, they would do that. Oh yeah, that's them all the way. Because they know who you are. Your people know who you are, and our people know who we are. You're doing what you do, and we're doing what we do. It's very simple. People don't leave who they are offline when they come to the internet. They are who they are. Temporarily, they put on a partial act for the white folks at work. So the white folks like kind of pretend in their head that these black folks are like partially civilized. But as soon as they get the information from YouTube, oh yeah, we should have known. That's why you get so embarrassed. That's why you get so embarrassed, because the partial facade you're putting on for these white folks gets blown to smithereens. That's what you're afraid of. You're probably at your job, fake and phony, and they don't like you anyway. Like we know they don't like us anyway. And it only takes a little until they see they busted you wide open like, oh, I could mention so many names. Your peoples know you, our peoples know us. We don't put on no pretend act for no white folks on no job or for no contract. You're pretending all day, every day, and it's even partially legit. They will believe immediately once we provide this information. They don't give a damn about you, and we don't give a damn about you. You don't give a damn about us. Why the hell do I care about you? I'm protecting myself and those I care about and those I love. I'm not sacrificing myself for some freaks on the internet to be accepted. You cannot force me into your role. You can't demonize me. You are the demons. Pillsbury, you told the world. So I'm not telling your business. You told the world that you didn't love your dad. You don't like your dad. He was mean. My daddy wasn't mean to us. Thank the Lord, we listen to what he said. And not a single one of us has ever been in a jail cell. Now, to be perfectly honest, that was our choice to follow our father's guidance, our family's guidance. We could have very easily said, forget you, we're going to do this, which many of you have. And shout out to those who are reformed. I'm not here to beat up anybody who ran afoul of the law and straightened their life out. But you are not going to character hijack us. You are the ones who got this started. Pillsbury, you got this started. You were the one who decided you need to be accepted and loved by a bunch of demon-ass freaks. I have no such need. Photon, quit pretending like you don't know what's going on. It doesn't look good. I'm not coming on your panel for no bullshit. I told you the conditions under which I would come on your panel. If you want information straightforward, I will give it to you. I'm not there to play any games, to mess around. You would not be laughing if your Social Security was being passed all over the place like all these other people's and mine were. Repeating, that is not about the information. It's how it was obtained. It's a federal offense. And nobody's going to sit up here in these YouTube streets and perpetrate a federal crime against me without me getting the authorities involved and keeping them involved. You can go ahead and say, oh, they're not going to do anything. That's what the PPP loan folks said. Yes, they were arresting people for outrageous madness, but it wasn't until 3.5, 4 years in have they started now making most of the arrests and charging. And they made announcements. They've got a lot more to go. The worst disease to have is complacency. We don't have to worry about that because we're not committing any crimes. We didn't commit any crimes in the past. We're not committing any crimes now. And we sure as hell are not going to be provoked into committing any crimes in the future. It's not our habit. There are those out there, that's their habit, that's their nature. They will always end up getting in some sort of trouble with the law, or they're so impressionable, they're so desperate, or they're so needy for love and friendship, they don't care how they get fake love and friendship. They will sacrifice themselves. They will risk their jobs. Antonio Johnson, perfect example. He's not the only one. Let me see your handcuffs. Nikki Proctor-Walden. Miss Things, carry on. So many others. I mean, I could name so many. Dumpsy D. Durrell, Dempsey Spears. Yes, we know there's binary code, and there's somebody running around there trying to get me to help them put papers on binary just so there would be papers saying that he's the P word or the CM word. And I'm not going to say the actual label because that's what they want to have on tape. They wanted me to help them put together papers. You don't need to be a lawyer to show somebody where to find legal papers and how to put them together. The words will be coming out of their mouths. I'm like, what do you want to do with binary? What's the issue with binary? I don't like what he did with the kids. What are you talking about? Well, I'll just use your papers. My papers didn't have anything to do with children as far as him attacking kids. It's the racial and the sexual harassment. It wasn't anything to do with kids except for him putting the kids online, but it wasn't anything to do with children like attacking kids. My situation with binary ended before that other stuff came on with the story, with the adults. That other subject, the pee the bed, dishonorable discharge, wanted binary's name on papers with those labels just to have it on papers so they could pass it around like to his employer, just to have it there. And I told that idiot, I don't want nothing to do with that because first off, the title and label is not even relevant. I don't want anything to do with false allegations. And why don't you get an attorney? I can't afford a lawyer. That's why we ignored this. I mean, whether or not someone can afford an attorney or not, file the paperwork. I'm not going to care about any threats until I get served. And even then, I'm still not going to care because there's no actionable claim. So he just wanted to file, just so you know, binary. He wanted to file papers on you. And I'm saying this for a reason, folks. He wanted to file papers on you just so they could be filed. And the subject said they wouldn't even really follow through with anything. They just wanted to have the actual filed papers so they can have those labels all in the documents, so they could have them and pass them around, like, and give them to your job. So it would say next to your name, all through those documents, that that's what you are. This is what the Umar Johnson sector does. False allegations. I don't want nothing to do with that shit. Anything that I do and say is factual, and I have the proof. Catherine Brown did not have any proof. You can file whatever papers you want in a freaking court. The judge threw that shit out. But there are other subjects still on the hook. What you worried about us for? You're still got federal lawsuit against you. We don't have any federal lawsuit against us. You're still on the hook. Nobody that we know was giving a damn about that. They know what the hell's going on. You're wasting your time, but it's your time. Go ahead and waste your time. It's not going to impact us one bit. We're not going to go anywhere. We are where we have always been, and we will continue to remain just where we are, standing on our 2 feet, not crawling on our bellies. So keep on thinking nothing will happen. Is this a priority over someone who has stolen $100 million? Of course not. But it's still a crime, and it's going to be prosecuted. It's just a matter of time. That is why they keep telling us, collect information on every new incident. I don't care about all this other stuff going on. I'm not getting involved with fake beefs. I don't care about all the other crap. If anyone's perpetrating a crime, the authorities are going to be notified. And whoever was saying in the chat, was it Pillsbury's chat? I don't know who the people were. People were saying things like, I don't even know what's going on. They have to be from the other sector because I don't recognize their names. I don't know what's happening here. What happened? Why is she doing this? I don't know the history. I don't even know what to tell you. Somebody, I guess, was asking for advice. I wouldn't even begin to know how to tell you what to do because I don't know what happened. That's the best attitude to take. See what happens when these freaks get mad at you and steal your Social Security number. This freak went up there into the Social Security Administration office and stole information. I told the fool, don't do that. You're going to get in trouble. And then she told me, I'm not going to work for Social Security. I'm not going to work there anymore. And I got my friends telling me, oh, no, she's working there. I'm telling them, no, she's not. She decided not to work there. She decided not to work there. She knew I didn't approve of what she was doing, so she told me she wasn't going to take the job there. Then she sent the email by accident to the wrong person. You see how God works. Pillsbury, you said God's protecting you. No, God was protecting us. The devil is guiding you. God is protecting us because Mona De Leon sent the email to the wrong person. That's what happened. After she was asking someone in the chat, I'm not going to bring other names into it. It's not important. Mona De Leon was in the chat doing her thing, targeting us because I wouldn't attack people who did nothing to me or to her. She wanted a certain person to contact her. And then someone else decided, I want to see what's going on here. So they made up a fake email address. And Mona De Leon was tricked into believing it was actually Carrie Ann, the fired teacher from Tucker High School, who knew it was time to get her ass up out of here too. Miss Things, you may know her by. So what does Mona do? Mona sends her confession that she has stolen our Social Security, several of us. It's confessed. And then she sent the information to all these other. Pills, you were one of the people. DJ Drama was fired. Did you forget that? Antonio Johnson was fired behind this. Do you think you're going to come out smelling sweet, nice, clean? And you continue down this road? I've told you once. I've told you twice. This is it. You want to go ahead and curry favor to these freaks? Go ahead. We're going to do what we're going to do. It's not even if you drop my information. If you drop anybody's information that was stolen, I'm going to report the crime. It is a criminal offense. You are committing the criminal offense, not us. And I will be damned if I'll sit back and just say, it's just YouTube. It's just jokes. It doesn't matter. It may not matter to you. Maybe not. Why don't you go find someone who it doesn't matter with? Go ask them for their Social Security number and post it all over YouTube. Why don't you do that? Why don't you offer up your social security number and post it all over YouTube and tell everybody to post it all over and tell everyone else to post it all over? You're not going to do that. You know what you're doing is dead ass wrong, and you know what's going to happen if you continue down this road. Photon, quit asking me these questions that you know the answers to. You have it right here. This comes from law enforcement. I'm not following the instructions of anybody on YouTube. And I know you're just joking around when you said, I owe Pillsbury an apology. You're just joking. You are joking. You are not even, you're just trying to get some content that I'm going to apologize for someone who's threatening to perpetrate a federal crime against me. Now, if the only crimes on the books are violence and threats of violence, then let me go down to the bank. But when that was happening, what did y'all do about that? Nothing. And quit acting like I would have a justification to call the police had Pillsbury threatened me with violence, which he did not. When violence was threatened and you heard the violence being threatened, rape, murder, and torture, you didn't think the cops should have been called either. Now, I don't care what you think. I'm just showing that you're a hypocrite. You don't want the cops called at all. You want black folks to sit here and abuse other black folks and nothing happen. You need to find those who are willing to let you do that. You continue to try to perpetrate that behavior on people who are not willing to take it. You know what's going to happen. I don't need to do anything other than what I've always done. Make sure I'm protecting myself. I'm not concerned about you. I'm concerned about me. You need to be concerned about yourselves. You're obviously not if you're running around here threatening people and perpetrating criminal behavior. It is not limited to violence and threats of violence, and you wouldn't give a damn anyway because you're doing that as well. Listen, folks, I have 2 other videos that I'm working on. I don't know if I'll get them done today, but they are coming. In the meantime, stay safe. Use the resources in the information section. Do not allow anybody to perpetrate any crime against you. Heed the warning, buyer beware.